Okay, children, welcome to the programming session. In this particular session, we are continuing on repetition structures. Already we learned how to do repetitions in pseudocodes. So this part, the lesson I'm going to begin with demonstrating using a Java program how the repetitions are functioning. So starting from that simple one, which we printed numbers from 1 to 9, we're going to do that one. Anybody who have missed that one, please watch the video on October 7th video. You watch that video, October 7th programming lesson video, you watch that, and then you can watch this video if you have not done anything or if you have missed it, right? I will create a new program, right? First, I'll create a small program, Java program. I will call this as loop demo 1. Sure. I hope you can see that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create, program starts here. This is the start according to the Java programming. I'm going to create the loop control variable, which is called the count, and I'm going to assign the value 1 there, right? And in real Java programs and real programming, we don't start anything to count from 1 because 1 is also a value. Usually we start counting things from 0. Anyways, in the pseudocode, we had the value 1. So this one also, I will have it as 1. So if you just type count is assigned 1, like in Python programming language, it will not work because the data type, even in PHP, this works. But in Java, when you create a variable, it is a must that you mention the data type. So then I put a data type here. There are 8 data types actually in Java. So in Java programming, I will teach that. Byte, short, int, long, flow, double, boolean, char like. There are 8 data types. So here I'm using just one type, which is integer. Integers are used to store whole numbers, numbers without any decimal places. Right. So we have put the value 1 there. Now you can code the while code like this. Just type while in simple letters, open close parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, you have to build the criteria. What is the criteria? You have to mention the as long as the value of count is less than 10, as long as the value of count is less than 10, open close curly braces is a must that you put here. Then you can write the code, what should happen. So we're going to say display count. So in Java, you say system.out.println, though this is the display command in Java. You know, whatever you print inside double quotations will be printed as it is. So we say count and a colon if I keep. So count colon will be as a label, it will print. You can put a plus mark, and if you put the loop control variable, count is a variable, and the value of count will be displayed. In the pseudocode, we are simply printing only the count without labels. Here I just put a label also. Then you have to make sure count is incremented by 1. So we write count is assigned count plus 1. Actually, Java programmers, we write the code like this, count plus plus in Java. That is, when we learn Java, we will do that. For the time being, we will keep the code simple like this. So count is assigned to count plus 1. This is all the code that we have there in the pseudocode. Now, if I execute the code by pressing Shift and F6, we should be able to get the output here. Right, as you can see, the code is running now. So once it executed, you can see the values from 1 to 9, it has got printed, right? So there are different commands available called print and println. If you use print, then it will print everything across the screen. Later in Java, I'll teach you that, right? So I will be using println. So things will be properly printed on the screen vertically like this. So this is how the first loop is working, right? Okay. We can do the loop demo 2 also now. Let's try loop demo 2. Only problem is I have to again resize the fonts and all. Since I'm recording this one, let me do that one here itself in the program. Okay, so I will comment it from here. So comments are simply omitted by the compiler. You know what is a compiler means? It's a language translator. We will again say count is equals to 1. We can say while value of count is less than or equals to 200. Right? Less than or equals to 200. But we're going to say, we're going to ask the computer to print. This time I'm not printing count label, just print count. And we will say count plus plus or count equals count plus 1. Count equals count plus 1 we can give. Now what happens if you execute this one, values from 1 to 200 will be printed on the screen. Here you can see that they are printed. So I'm just pressing the page up button. So you can see it has got printed. 1 is there. And all the way down, you have 200 as well. You can even go up to 2000, 2 lakhs, doesn't matter. Okay, it can do that work for you. So only matter of a change in this condition here, we can do the work a lot. So I'm not tweaking a lot of variable names and logics. I'm using the same variable names. I'm using a similar type of logics and trying to explain. Previously, we printed from 1 to 9 because it was less than 10. Here we are printing numbers from 1 to 200. 1 and 200 both are included. So what we need to do, we need to make sure we can print 200 as well. So we have written count is less than or equals to 200. So that is why I wrote it like that. Then the exercise that we did yesterday also we will do, which is printing numbers from 100 to back 1. So again, we'll take a variable called count, and we have to start the value from 100 here, not from 1. We have to start the value from 100. Then we can again have the while loop. Count variable should be greater than or equal to 1. As long as the value is more than or equals to 1, we can repeat this. So what we are going to say, we're going to print the count. That's all. But each time we have to reduce 1 from the count. So count is assigned to count minus 1. Each time 1 should be deducted. So it can print in the reverse order. I'm going to press Shift F6 now. Let's run like that. There you can see, here we go. It does the work like that, right? So starting value is 100, 99, 98, 97. Likewise, it has printed all the way up to 1. If you type here minus 20, it will go up to minus 20. That is possible. It is not going to stop at 0 or 10. It is going to go up to, so see, that is possible, right? Okay, so this is what we have discussed yesterday, and we have done, right? Okay, hope you have no doubts in this one. Anyways, I will post this one and I will get a small feedback from you, then I will proceed. Right, children, let me know how many of you have installed Java software in your computer. If you have the Java software installed, anything, right? Harlik, Azir version, only the Java or Java with NetBeans? Okay. Put your hands down, put your hands down. If we have, we will take like this, okay? We will take like this. If we have Java installed plus NetBeans, both if you have installed, give the green color thumbs up. In the reaction section, you have that thumbs up. Otherwise, you give only another symbol. What is that? What are the other reactions you have? Do I have any reactions to show here? Since I'm the host, it's not showing any reactions for me. Harlik is only having Java install, I guess. Is that only Java install, Harlik? Fazni?
That means also.
Only NetBeans installed. Java not installed.
Java and NetBeans. Both.
That is why if it is so, I ask you to put a thumb, not a thumbs up. I ask you to put a green color signal. Right. Anyways, I'll show you how to do this part. For the next class onwards, we might need this one. So since my screen is ready, let me share that with you. I will create a link in our class wall and I will post it to you. If you go to Google and if you search JDK, that stands for Java Development Kit, JDK 1.8 with NetBeans 8.2, right? Right. So that is the first link comes. We can go here. This link I will give you. So once you go here, anyways, now Java is owned by Oracle. I will teach you this one later. Once you come here, children, you need to accept the agreement. Once you accept this agreement, only these download links will get enabled. Once these links are enabled, what you can do is you can choose the proper version for your platform. If you are on a Linux, or if you are on Macs, or if you are on a Windows, you can choose the corresponding download file. So I am on a 64-bit PC, so I'm going to download this particular thing. I already have it. So you can click on this. If you're on a 32-bit, you can go for this one. Okay, I think I said it the other way around. 86 x86 means 32-bit, 64 means 64-bit. So please download this particular file and double click, and pretty much you can give next and get it installed. So once you have installed, the NetBeans software will be installed along with the JDK. If you have already installed JDK 1.8 or something, at least 1.8 is needed, then you can install NetBeans. Only you can download and install. So if you install, the NetBeans will automatically get it configured. So that is the reason. So now up to Java 18 is also available, but we don't need up to that point. Java 11 is the one which is stable. It will be supported. Java 1.8 will be supported at the end of this decade, which means 2030. Until 2030, Java 1.8 will be supported. So till that time period, we can use that one, because enormous amount of programs had been written using Java 1.8. So it's a very popular version. So we can use that one. By 2030, you would have finished even your MSc if you're doing, right? Okay. Right. So having said that, we can move on. So I have already installed it. So from next week onwards, no one says in the class, sir, we couldn't download. It didn't work. I couldn't download it. I forgot to download and install. Please don't give any of those excuses. Next class, it should be installed, right? So I'm going to give this link, download link. I'm going to post it. You will download this particular file, right? So I'm going to give you, so no one can say it was not there.
Sir, sir,
Yes. Tell me.
sir, I tried downloading the way you told us now. It didn't work for me, but
How can it didn't work? I don't know. Maybe your browser, something, internet connection, something may be blocked. Download NetBeans 8.2 with JDK 1.8. Right, this is the download link. You can get it download from there. Direct download link also I will give you if you want. So that is directly, you can click on that link and you can download as well. So that is there. Put a screenshot after installing. You can start NetBeans. It will start up. After it starts up, put a screenshot that I know who have done it then. Okay. Right. The task is set. Okay, children, let's go back to the lesson. You have to try it some way to download it, Putha. That is the official site to download and get it installed. There is no other way of doing it. That's the original file. If I think maybe your version of the operating system is 32-bit, then try downloading x86 version and install that. Right. Okay. So to start the session, right? Start the session in the sense, in order to practice further pseudocodes, right? Now we're going to write something like this. Write a Did you understand this question? Write a pseudocode to print all the integers in the range 1 to 100. So you will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 100 you will print. At the end, you will print the total of all the numbers which were printed. So 1 will be added with 2, total is 3. 3 will be added with 3, 6. 6 will be added with 4, 10. 10 will be added with 5, 15. 15 will added with 6, 21. 21 will be added with 7, 28. Likewise, the total will come up to 100 numbers. Once you add all of them together, what is the total as well? So 101 output lines will be there in the program. So you can write this one with a simple loop, and I'm expecting you to do that one, right? I'll post the recording. You can do it and show me the answer. Now let's, this is, right. Now I have, this box is full of marbles, okay? Right. Now let's see, we're going to print numbers. For example, we're going to print numbers. First time we print 1. Okay. Is it visible? Okay. 1 marble is there, right? That is, let's assume we print 1, okay? 1 we print. Second time we print 2 marbles. So it's not staying in one place. Second time we print 2 marbles. How many marbles are there totally now? 3 marbles. Then third time you print how many? 3 marbles. Third time you print 3 marbles. First time 1 marble, second time 2 marbles, third time 3 marbles you print. So likewise, fourth time you print 4 marbles, right? 4 marbles. I can't keep it here. I will try to keep it over here. I think you can see that. I don't think I can't explain it simple than this. This is like for Montessori people. Then I can again put, after that I can put 5 marbles. Next time 5 marbles. So if anybody is just printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not acceptable. Let me keep them first, right? Now see, first you print 1, then you print 2, then you print 3, then you print 4, then you print 5. This is your count variable can change. Your count variable can change. Now see, your count variable. Okay. Let's say this is finding the total of the all numbers, finding the total of all the numbers. Let's say first the count becomes 1. This is a holder, see, placeholder. How much? Count is 1 now, right? Okay. We put it there here. I can do it here itself. This is then count is 1. when count is 1, total is 0 now. Total is 0, right? Total is 0. This is a holder, placeholder. This is a placeholder. Altogether, how many marbles I have now? Open your mics and mouths. Yeah. How many marbles do I have now? Altogether?
One, sir.
1. Do you have a doubt still? Okay, you know, you write start, then count is set to 1, right? So here count is set to 1. Total, can you set to 1? No, you can't set there should be a variable called total, right? You can't set that to 1 now. You have set that total to 0. See, this is 0, nothing there. Okay, what we do next, right? So we can add what you have in total plus the count variable, we can add together. So 1 plus 0, 1 plus 0, this becomes 1. This becomes 1. Now count is having 1, Nebuta. Count is 1 now. Is that understood? Right? Second time, count is incrementing by 1. So count becomes 2. Now count has become 2. Now when count becomes 2, right? Total has to be again incremented. Second time we have to add this to total. Total, how much you have there? 1. 1 plus 2. Total is becoming 3 now. Right? 1 plus 2, it is 3. Count will become how much now? Count will become 3 next time because it was 2 earlier. Physically, I can't copy and take now here in like computer. When I take it, it vanishes, right? So imagine that. So now we have 3. See, the 3 count is 3 now. Here 3. So I'm adding that one also. 3 plus 3, how much?
6.
Someone is trying to write the code also. When I'm explaining, don't do any other work. Watch this. Code is not correct anyways, what you sent. Yeah. Now 3 times we have done. Total is 6. 1 plus 1 is 1 plus 2 is first time 1 plus 0. Then 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 3, 6. If you count and see, there are 6 marbles. See, there are 6 marbles. Next time count becomes 4. 6 plus 4, this becomes 10. This becomes 10. Next time this is 5. 10 plus 5. Now it becomes 15. Understood? Is that properly understood the concept?
Yes,
You
sir.
are not people speak, you know, there are 1 or 2 people are there. Maybe Charun will be speaking, Adil will be speaking. 1 or 2 people are there who can open the mic and mouth. Other people are, don't know, keeping their mouth shut. Huh? You don't understand anything. Or did you understand?
Yes, sir, understood.
Understood.
Understood, sir.
This is
Understood.
properly understood what I said now? Okay, once more I'm going to show. There are people, even if they don't understand, they won't tell. Okay. So at the later, they say we didn't understand. So I don't want any such problems. Watch this. We have the count variable first set. Count variable, we are setting. Start the program. We create a variable called count and we put the value 1 there. Are we okay with this? Right. Then total we're going to print at the latter part. We're going to print at the very later, we're going to print the total. Right. Now we want to hold the totals from 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. We had to find the total. So I'm going to hold a placeholder, that is a variable. So this is an integer variable I'm going to hold. Right. So this is not having any value at the beginning, 0, right? So we're going to add count with total, which is 0, right? Then total will become 1, right? Now actually your count is also having 1. Count will be incremented by 1. Then count is becoming 2. Once count becomes 2, the count variable has to get added with the total. 2 plus 1, 3. Already 2 is there. count will become 3 now. Count is becoming 3. 3 plus 3. That is becoming 6. Here you already have 3. This will become 4 now. Then 6 plus 4, 15. This was 4. This was 4. Count increments by 1. Count becomes 5 now. So 10 plus 5, 15. Already you have 5 now here. This will become 6 now. Once it becomes 6, 15 plus 6, 21 marbles are there. If you're not sure, you can count and see. Take a screenshot later and count and see. So I'm slowly slanting it. Count and see. There are 21 marbles are there. Likewise, once you add up to 99, 100, it will be a big number. If I have a big jar and if I had enough number of marbles with me, I can do it. I think I might have around 100 marbles. That's all I have here. Okay. Right. Hope you understand that. Let me demonstrate that with a code for you. Okay. Hope you would understand it. Right. Some answers have come, so I'm going to post the recording. So is the triangular number now? Is that triangular number? I forgot the concept, Uta, Farshan. Yes, yes. Correct. Right. Hope you can see the code now. I'm going to do this one and I'll give you a different example for you, right? Those who didn't do properly, I didn't get the correct answer anyways, right? Watch this. So you write question number. You put the question number there. I'm going to start recording. Started recording. Start the program, right? So you have to set the count to 1. Before that, you can set the total to 0, right? So if I put this to once again, you know, that's why this we took for total. The other tray we took for count, right? So then what happens is, next what you need to do, while as long as the value of count is less than or equal to 100, this part most of you did. You are displaying the values, right? So we need to display the, oh, sorry, that is Java. Let's say display count. You did this part correctly. Then count should be incremented by 1. Count is assigned count plus 1, right? End while and stop the program. This is what most of you sent me. So that answer is not correct, children. This answer is not correct because this is printing the numbers from 1 to 100. So you didn't even use the total variable here. So what you need to do about the total, each time when you increment count by 1, you can say not increment, here say total equals total plus count, what you have in the count. Total 0, count 1. Total 0, count 1. Add them together. Now count becomes, this becomes 1. This becomes 1. Count is still 1. You go up, You go up. If you are viewing me, view side by side, make my screen bigger so it's easy. I can't in the recording, I can't do that. I have to stop sharing. I can't do that now. So if you are viewing me, view both together. Right. So you come count plus 1. So this becomes 2 children, right? Go up here, display count. So 2 will be printed. 2 will be printed. Once 2 printed, what happens? Total is assigned here. Total is assigned. So we're going to put it here. Assign means. So total is already having how much? 1 is there. Here. Total is having 1 now. Count is having 2 now. So when you add that one, it becomes 3, right? This is still, that is still 2 here. This will become 3 now. Once it becomes 3, end while, go up here. 3 is less than or equal to 100, true. So total is assigned the value. We're going to put it here. This we're going to put it here. How are we going to do? Total plus count. 3 is there. 3 plus 3, 6. 3 was here. Now increment count by 1 becomes 4, and so on and so forth. This will become 5. Then it goes there, right? Okay. Right. Right. Let's try what we did now in the pseudocode in a real Java program and see what's happening or how it's working. So to keep it simple, I will comment it. So we need, first of all, a loop which will work 100 times. That's very sure. So we'll say int count is assigned the value 1. Then we can say while count is less than or equals to 100, we can repeat the loop body. So we have to display the count. You just put count here. Then count assigned to count plus 1. Count is assigned to count plus 1 we put here. So when we do like that, it will just print the numbers from 1 to 100. No big deal about that. Now what we need to do is, here we have to take int total is assigned the value 0 because we haven't found the total yet. So here, after first printing the value 1, we can add that with the total. So we say total is assigned the value total plus count. What you have the value in count now should be added with total. Actually, very first time total is 0, right? So when you add 0 plus 1, it becomes 1. Total is 1. Then count is incremented by 1. So count is becoming 2. Once count becomes 2, the loop repeats for the second time. 2 is less than 10 to 100, true, come inside. What happens? Print 2 here because value of count has changed to print 2 there. Once 2 is printed, go and check total is assigned with count. So total is already having the value 1, previous value of count, which is it is having. Now the value of count is 2. So 1 plus 2, count will become 3. Then count will increment. Count will become 3. So 3 is less than 100. True. So print 3 here. Then count is already, count is having the value 3. Total is also 3. So 3 plus 3, 6. It will come like that. So you can say S, or we can print that and we can say total here you got the total, right? So when you run this one, so once it finishes, so once everything finishes, the total is displayed as 5050. Okay. As Yashan has said, if you move this line up here, each time if you display the total, so that will be printed 100 times. We are printing the total. It's a waste of code. And but you can see how the value of total is changing. That is true at the very beginning. So 1 plus 2 here, 3 plus 3 plus 3 6 plus 4 10. So it's like this one and this one added, this one coming, right? So this one and 6 21 28, likewise it's coming. Hope you understood this one, right? So I don't think there is another simple way to explain than this. Okay, if you didn't understand, honestly let me know. Otherwise it will be a problem. If you didn't understand this thing, I can again try to explain this. Based on these things, we're going to build some more programs. That is why I'm asking you, did you properly understand this? And I'll post the recording and I'll get your feedback and I'll move forward. Right, let's discuss something which is necessary for the upcoming questions for us to do. I'm going to actually teach you something called modulus operator. So we all know what these operators are doing: addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Apart from that, you have another operator. This is the Java operator that I have put, which is called modulus, or in terms in Visual Basic and all, we write MOD, modulus. So both are same. This you can write either of this one in your pseudocodes. I accept it. What this basically does, let's take a look at it, right? Okay. Now, if I have numbers like, let's say 5, 10 and 5 here, in between this, if I put the addition operator, then you know what is the output. Keep your mics ready, right? So output is, what is the total?
15.
It is 15, right? Okay, let's watch this one again closely. So if I change the operator, then what happens? This becomes
5.
how much?
5.
5. So I'm changing only the operator, not the operands. Okay. So now watch this. What's the answer now?
50.
50, because we are changing the operator. So the answers are changing. Now, if I put division operator, what's the answer now?
2.
Very good, right? So now you know, because 10 can be without any remainders, or evenly we can divide it by 5. That is why we didn't fall into any problem. Okay. But if you divide 10 by, okay, we will take the operands, we will change. Okay, now we have 3 here. So if you put this plus, that is 13. If you put subtraction, that is
7.
7. Okay, 7. If you put multiplication,
30.
30, yes. And if you put division, which is how much? You usually use a 3 point. Normally it is 33333, like it's coming. So 3.3333. Right now, okay, that is decimal places. If it is coming, it will come like that. So when you divide, the answer is 3.3333 coming. Okay, okay, fine. But if you modulus divide, modulus division, you can write the word as mod, or you can write this operator. Now that is why side by side I'm doing. It's easy for you to understand. If you modulus divide a number by another number, what happens is the answer is going to be not 3.333, and it is very wrong to pronounce this one as 10 divided by 3. It's not dividing by 3. Okay, it is modulus dividing by 3. So when you modulus divide by 3, it will always give you the remainder. How much is remaining? Remainder will be given. So how much is the remainder here? In 10, how many times we have 3s? We have 3 times. 3, 6, 9. So how much is remaining?
1.
1 is remaining. So 1 will be the remainder. Okay, so 1 is the remainder. Now look at this one. If 10 is modulus divided by 7, how much is the remainder?
3.
Very good, right? So if you modulus divide 10 by 5, what is the remainder now?
0.
Very good. Very good. 0. So you understand the concept now, right? So the difference between division and modulus division, we know it is giving us how much is remaining. So if you say modulus divide a number, after doing the division, it is going to tell you what's not the answer. It's going to tell how much is remaining, right? Okay, so we're going to keep this in mind and we're going to do the work, right? So shall we quickly have a note in your book? MOD or this one, say modulus operator. Modulus operator. We can say returns the remaining or the remainder when one number is modulus divided by another. Right. So modulus operator means returns the remaining or remainder when one number is modulus divided by another, right? So that is, you just quickly note it down, then we could do an exercise. Note down this point in your book. So evenly dividing means I can put 5 marbles in this and 5 marbles in that. So it is evenly dividing. How many marbles remaining then? That case, no marbles are remaining, right? So 10 is a even number because you can evenly divide. Okay, right. So it's better do that, right? Okay. So I'll take a number. I think you can count from there. Can you tell me how many marbles are there? How many marbles are there?
5.
5, sir.
3 are.
6.
6 now. 6 marbles are there, right? So I have this kind of that's big ones, only 1 or 2. Right. Anyways, I think can you evenly divide this? Evenly divide karana kya mukadda karana ne? Evenly dividing means I don't have another small cup. Yeah, evenly dividing means what we have to do. Evenly divide කරන කියන මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ?
3.
දෙකෙන් බෙදන්න ඕනේ නේද? දෙකෙන් නේද බෙදන්න ඕනේ? We have to divide by 2. Right. මේක දෙකට බෙදුවොත් මේකට 3ක් දානවා මේකට 3ක් දානවා. Is it now evenly divided?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Once we have evenly divided, anything remaining?
No, sir.
No, right. Okay. Have the count here. If this is too simple for you, so සෙල්ලම් කරනවා වගේ අපිට ඕනේ නැහැ. කිව්වොත් ඔයා කියන්න මම මේක කරන්න නැතු නිකන් කෝඩ් එක විතරක් explain කරන්න. That is also can be done. I want to make sure that it is getting recorded. Is it recording?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's recording, right? Okay, Putal, I'm going to add few more, right? So now, okay, how many marbles we have? We have
7.
7 marbles. We have 7 marbles. I want to evenly divide. Evenly divide. How do the? You know, there is a small cloth here. I'll try. අපි මේම කරමු. Cloth එක තියාගමු මේ ටික, right? It's white, I'm sorry, don't know whether you can see that well. පේන ඇති නේද? ගොඩක් පේනවද? Difficult to see? Can see ne? Right, now you can see. Right. So then evenly divide karno, right? Okay. Anna. Right. Anna. දෙකෙන් බෙදන්නේ. ඔන්න දෙකෙන් බෙදනකොට then full on the van නේද? How many remaining?
1.
1, sir.
Remaining. So how much was the number earlier? How much?
7.
7 neda, right? Okay, 7. So evenly dividing means what? Dividing by 2 or dividing with modulus, right? Okay, when you are trying to do that one, here you can have 3, here you can have 3. So tell me 7, is it a even number or not a even number?
Odd.
Even.
7 is a even number or illya? Is it a even number or not a even number?
Not a even.
No.
Even number.
It's a odd number. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to modulus divide this. Modulus dividing means what? We're going to tell modulus divide this by 2. Then what it will do is it will do the division and it will tell the answer as how much is remaining only. This we don't care. It'll tell how much is remaining only, right? Okay. I'll take another one easy for you to count. I think you can see there. Can you count and see how many are there?
9.
9.
There are 9 marbles there. Okay. Now, there are 9 marbles there. Now I'm going to modulus divide this by 2. We will take 2 because then we can go for the even number example. This light is bright, children, so that's why it's coming like that. So the focus is not coming there. Right. So evenly we can divide that, right? So let's take evenly. Okay. When we do that, here 4, then 8 gone. How much is remaining? 1 is
1,
remaining.
sir.
So 9 is an odd number. Do you understand? If 1 is remaining, when you modulus divide by a number, one number, what was we having? 9. Modulus dividing, and if the remainder is 1, modulus divide by 2. If the remainder is 1, then we say it is an odd number. If there are no remainders, we say it's a even number. Now the count is, I will keep it simple. I'll keep around 6. Right. Let's take the example. Now I have 6 marbles. It's easy for you. 6 marbles. Now what will happen is 6 marbles are there. So when you modulus divide by this, not dividing, modulus divide by 2. Modulus divide by 2, what will happen? Now see. How much is remaining?
0.
0. Very good. Is that properly understood now, children? Adil, did you get the
Yes,
idea
sir.
now? Adil,
Yes.
did you get the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Children, do you think I can explain simple than this?
No, sir.
Sir.
Difficult. So you have to understand that up to that level, you people are undergraduates, first year of the degree program you people are doing. You understand. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So if I teach you for a person who is in small grades, so anybody can understand. That is what my theory is. So that is why I try to use these kind of things, right? Fine. Nice. Okay. So I hope anyways, idea is clear now. Let's work on our sample now. All right. Okay. Now we're going to talk. This is also a physical example. This is also a physical example. Now let's go for a code example, right? So how to find out even numbers and odd numbers, right? Let's take a sample code. I'll do a small code for you, right? Start the program, and I will take a number, right? So earlier we took something called count. So I'm not going to count anything. I'm just going to give number, and I can give a number which I like. Just like the previous one, we will say 6, right? Then we will say, answer is assigned the value number modulus divided by 2, modulus divided by 2, and we will display the answer. How much is the remainder? We can get C. Then we're going to stop the program. Okay. So this program will actually tell you the answer as 0, because 6, when you modulus divide by 2, nothing will remain. See, modulus divide by 2, nothing is remaining. Okay. So if you change this number to something like 9 or 7 or 5, let's put this one as 7. All of you know that 7 is not a even number, it's an odd number, right? So if you divide that by 2, if you modulus divide by that 2, how much will be remaining?
1.
1 will be remaining. So the output will be 1 here, right? So let me demonstrate that with the Java code for you for better understanding, right? I'll take a, okay, we'll leave this one for a while. We might need it. To save time, I'm using the same program, children. Otherwise, it will take some time. Look at the code. Int number is assigned the value 7. Int answer is assigned the value number modulus divided. Now here you can't type MOD. You have to type Java modulus operator, which is the percentage mark. Then you can give the value that you're going to modulus divide by, which is 2. Then you can say print the value of answer. You can say remainder. So you can display how much is. If I run this program, answer will be 1. So you can say the program is saying remainder is 1. So now let's change this value. 8. So the answer will be 0. Then we'll put something like 12. What is the answer?
0.
0.
0. 8 0. 8 is 2 divide 2 modulus divide. How much?
0, sir.
0, sir.
0. Very good. So 801. Odd number, even number?
Odd number.
Odd number. What is the remainder?
1.
1. Very good. I hope you understand this one now. Okay. So now we found out the remainder and we were displaying this one. Okay. Now, if you go here and if I ask a question like this, we will see how we can do that part, right? We say write a pseudocode So read the question and see here. Write a pseudocode to enter a number from keyboard. So you have to design a program where you can enter a number from the keyboard. Find and display whether that number, that means the number that you entered from the keyboard, is an even number or an odd number. So just finding the remainder and printing like this will not do. This calculation need to be done, but just printing will not do, right? Let me show you how it can be done now, right? We can start the program. We can say input, we can say enter a number. We can ask the user to enter a number and we can hold that number in the number variable. All of you are comfortable with this? Do you understand up to this point?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, good. If it is difficult for understanding, please let me know, right? In start, input number, we ask the user to enter a number. Next, what we do is, right, I will make the program very simple for you before I move to the if condition. Now, if you want to decide or if you want to print even or odd, pass or fail, if you want to do such like kind of a thing, definitely, you know, we have to use a selection statement, which is a if condition. So here also I'm going to use that one, but to make the things simple, I'm going to say here also answer is assigned the value num, which is entered by the user number, modulus divided, or you can use the symbol. We will use 1. Okay, this one symbol we use. Modulus divided by 2. Then this will give the answer, right? So it will here it will either it's going to hold the value 1 or it's going to hold the value 0 based on the number that you're going to input. Then you can write an if condition. Very simple. See, you can say if answer, that whatever the value is equals to, answer is equals to, if it is equals to 0 means then if answer, actually the equal to, you should write like this, because there is no difference between this equal to and this equal to. So we will write like this. Depatta samananam, right? So if the answer variable is having the value 0, if the remainder was 0, then you can say display even, else අනිත් එක මොකක්ද තියෙන්න පුළුවන්? What else can be there? 1 would be there. Otherwise, it is odd. Right? Then we say end if. Then we can stop the program. So this is a tiny program that I have done. In this program, we can reduce this line of coding very simply. We can reduce this line of coding in the program. So first we will understand this code. We will try with Java program. Then we will do the fine tuning. This is not very effective. We can do it without the line which I have highlighted. I will explain this code once more for your understanding. See, you can see, start the program here. Then we ask the user to input a number from the keyboard. So the label is printed, enter a number. Then number variable is the variable which is going to hold the value that the user going to type. So suppose the user typed 7. So answer, number is 7 now. Then next line, we're going to find the remaining value or remainder. So to do that, what we are doing, the number that the user entered value, we are modulus dividing. All of you know what happens when you do modulus division. Modulus division, when you do, it is going to take the remaining value. So the number that we are using for modulus dividing is 2. So whatever the number we have here, we're going to modulus divide it by 2 because we want to evenly divide. Equally, we have to divide it into 2 pieces. So number is having the value 7. I said 7 was entered. So you know 7 cannot be evenly divided. I already explained you with the balls. So 1 will always remain. 1 will remain. Okay. So for that reason, this will be, now answer will be having the value 1. Now once it comes here, it is checking if answer variable, is it equivalent to 0? If the answer variable is holding the value 0, it is simply checking whether it is holding the value 0. If it is having the value 0, it can print even. Actually, at the moment we entered 7 and answer variable is holding the value 1. So this part what I have highlighted is not true. It is not true. So this part cannot be done. It will always go to the else part and it will display odd because we have asked in the else part to display odd, and program will finish from here. So this is what we have done. This part I'm going to demonstrate to you using the Java program. Right, let's stop that. Right, so now if you want to get the input from the keyboard, that I have to prepare the code. So I'm going to say scanner scan is assigned to right. So that tool I have to import. In Java, we're going to detailedly learn these things. Now we're going to say int number is assigned the value scan.next. So before that, next int, we will ask the user, we'll instruct the user what to do. Enter a number. So user will enter a number. Now you can say int answer is assigned the value number modulus divided by 2. Now answer will be found. Now you can say if answer equals to 0, then you can say even, else you can say odd. That's all the code, right? If x equals to 0, even, otherwise odd. So when you run this program is waiting for your input. Enter a number. Let's type 7. It says odd number. We all know 7 is odd number. Once we will run again, 25, odd number. 12 is an even number. 6 is an even number. We tried now. 8 is an even number. 12 is an even number. 11 is an odd number. It's an odd number. Understand? So that is how it's functioning. Right. Now, each time when you want to do this one, right, we can have this code a little bit modified. So here we are defining a variable called answer, and then we do a calculation like this, number modulus divided by 2, and it is equivalent to 0. We are checking. So I'll show you how it can be done without this variable, right? So let's comment this. Here we can directly do something like this. We can do a calculation. Use the entered value, which is number. We can modulus divided by 2 directly inside the if condition itself. If you like, you can put another bracket if you want. So number modulus divided by 2. What you have it inside the bracket will happen. When that is happening, it is going to come either 1 or 0. So 1 is equals to 1 or 1 is equals to 0 is what you are checking there. Number is 7. 7 modulus divided by 2. It's going to tell you either 0 or 1. If it's equals to 0, then it's an even number. Otherwise, it's an odd number. See, when we run this one, same thing will happen. So if I type a number, 40 even, right? 51 odd number, right? So that is how it is functioning. So this is how we should actually do it without this. So this code, what we can do is this line of code, we can do it like this without having that. We can directly say number modulus division or number modulus division by 2. If it's equals to 0, then display even, otherwise display odd. Okay. So I want you to quickly copy down this question and this answer.